Hello, everybody. Welcome. It is Tuesday, beautiful Tuesday morning here, and I get to be with Michele Thomas again this week.
Yay.
Yay! I have loved all this time we've been able to go live and spend
Yeah,
time together. So,
I know.
all of our lives so far have been very enlightening, I think, and inspirational. So,
Yes. I'm always shocked at sort of we never run out of topics to talk about.
yeah. No. And we
Yeah.
never really even talk about it. We do a little bit because Facebook makes us put a nice little
Type a topic, yeah, right.
we're
Mhm.
like, yeah, whatever. Can we just put whatever spirit wants us to talk about? That's what
Exactly.
it needs to be.
Right? Yes.
So, yeah, today we're excited though to be together. Michele and I
Yes.
um, have decided to do some coaching and some healing today and do a few readings.
Yes. For those who might be interested.
Might be
Um,
interested.
yes. And we love doing this. Like, you and I are, I don't know. I love working with others. I love sharing our gifts and allowing people to sort of see the magic, because sometimes magic is esoteric a little bit, and people are like, what do you mean? And so I always kind of like putting it out there and allowing people to actually see the magic at work, because you and I are definitely magic when we get together. So I just thought that, we kind of thought that this would be a great way to start our day and to really help some people today, really.
Absolutely. So, if you're coming in, please say hi. If you're in
Yeah.
the group, because Facebook loves to like cause havoc for us. So, if
Yeah.
you're in one of my groups or on YouTube, all we see is Facebook users. So, if you can maybe type your name in there, because I
Yeah.
see somebody who's already come in. So, and
Yeah.
if you're wanting some guidance today, we ask that you do ask for it in the comments,
Yeah.
and open up and know that you will get exactly what you need to hear today, because
Mhm.
that's the joy of this. Michele and I love, we just tap into your energy field, tap into our guides, tap
Yeah.
into all the beautifulness, and really just give you what we get. And so know that whatever comes up for you today is exactly what you needed to hear.
Yes.
So
And just so you know, this is kind of the work that we're the guidance and the assistance that we're giving you guys today is really just a tiny little bit of a taste of what you receive in our healing fast track. So we kind of wanted to sort of put the proof in the pudding kind of a little bit, and share our gifts with people, because sometimes, especially if you guys don't work with us often, you may not really see just how powerful and magical that we can really sort of help you and guide you and get you sort of into alignment and help you sort of shine a light on the path that maybe you need to be walking.
absolutely. Well, and I know for me too, I do I do readings inside my private groups. I don't always do a lot of readings on my regular main page. And so I think it's the same thing
Same.
for you, kind of, Michele. Like we don't do this a lot. And so this is just kind of a cool opportunity for you guys to get in on the magic a little bit, so to speak, and
Yeah.
see what we do.
Oh, all right. Well, Gina looks like she somehow dropped off the call. But so here's the thing. If you guys are looking for a little message, some guidance today, we're going to get to as many people as kind of we can with whatever time we have. And we're going to kind of, so if you are looking for a reading, so just make sure that you put your name in and that you'd like a reading. And if you have something specific, we can kind of try and see. But sometimes spirit gives us what you need and not necessarily what you want. And so, but again, because we're using StreamYard, sometimes we can't see your name. So if you'll just kind of put your name in and say, I'd love a reading, that will be super helpful.
Yeah. So did I get kicked out? Because also
You did. I did. I was like, oh, I guess I'll start talking about whatever we're doing today. So I see some people. So thank you guys all for joining us today. We are really happy to have you. So why don't we kind of like, we'll scroll up to the top and see what we got.
Yeah. So yeah, let's start with Sandy.
Okay, Sounds good. And yeah, and whoever put Facebook user, whoever wrote "Hi, beautiful ladies," you guys are definitely magic. We can't see your name, so you'll have to put your name in again. So, and I think that person may have said, I already gave him permission, but for whatever reason, it's not showing up. But so if you'll just put your name in, that would be greatly appreciated.
And just know today too, I don't know what Michelle said while I was gone, so I have no idea what happened.
What was happening, and they needed to put their name in and that they wanted a reading. And also, I'm going to be, so if for some reason, like we don't get to you today, that's okay. We're going to go live doing something similar on my business page on Thursday. I think it's at 1:30 in the afternoon Mountain Time. So don't worry, don't stress out about it. And also my other thing that I want to remind people is just because the message isn't directed at you doesn't mean that it's not for you. Spirit likes to be very efficient, especially when we're working in a large group. And so sometimes they will give us messages, and if it resonates, take what resonates, leave the rest.
Yep. Yeah. Cause I tell people in my membership, a lot of times, if I don't get to everybody, that, there's something here for everybody. We can, a lot of times when we're speaking to one, we're speaking to many in the group. So that's super cool. So let's start out with Sandy. And Sandy's actually asked a question. Any messages on the job, starting with the letter K that I joined a week ago. The hours are horrible, and I think I will quit by next week. Well, Sandy, I'm just going to say any messages on the job starting with the letter K that I have joined. I don't know what that means, but I am just going to say, you know what, we can choose to be happy in the moment wherever we're at. I feel like that you're kind of a person who is really, and I mean this in all loving way, kind of all over the place a little bit. Michelle's smiling at me, so she knows where I'm going with all of this. There's a lot of indecisiveness, and you're like looking for that next best thing to make you happy. And there's so many times when no matter what we do, we're not going to be happy if we're not happy with the person that is inside of us. And it starts on the inside. We can work in the most terrible of jobs, the terrible of conditions, and be the happiest person on the face of the planet, even though we don't enjoy our job. So, you know, for you, I feel like today you need to hear that I feel like it's time for you to go inside and really start working on, you know, what are all of these, I just am hearing the word perfectionistic things. We've got all of these expectations going on. We've got all of these things rolling around inside of there. And I really feel like that it's time for you. You're being called with everything that's going on in your life. I feel like you're kind of in the middle of a shitstorm. I feel like that it's literally flying around me, and I'm trying to keep it off my face. And you're like, why are things not working out for me? It's because you need to go within. You're looking for the answers on the outside. The answers are never on the outside. It's not about the job. It's not about the relationship. It's not about any of this stuff. It's all about what's going on the inside. And so, you know, for you, your message today is it's time to start looking on the inside. You already know the answers. They're there for you. I just feel like you're not listening. It's funny. I was doing a funny video this morning about really not listening to our guides and waking up at 3 a.m., you know, because they woke us up again for the 400th time. You'll see it on my reels here pretty soon. And this is kind of what I'm seeing for you. It's like, why is everything not happening? But you're not listening to everything that's going on around you. And the answers are really just right there for you. So I'll let Michelle can.
Yeah. You know, and it's funny as she started talking, feeling a lot. And I'm a medical intuitive and energy healer. So chances are I will feel whatever it is that's going on in your body. That's just kind of how sometimes the messages flow into my space. But I felt a lot of heaviness in my chest. And it's just like, one, it feels like you're being really awful to yourself. You're being pretty mean in your head. The thoughts that you're having, the words that you're saying out loud, and they want you to give yourself a little bit more grace and compassion, knowing that like you're perfect, exactly like we're all divinely, imperfectly perfect the way we are, and giving yourself a little bit more grace. That being said, they're also kind of reminding you like that you get to choose this life. You get to choose the direction that you want to have. And so if this job is making you fucking miserable, do something about it. You get to choose every day how you're going to experience your life. So they're also kind of saying, well, they're just like, well, they're kind of like, well, you kind of knew some of this stuff going in. Why would you accept something that you already knew? So they're kind of also saying you might need to work on your boundaries and figuring out like why you're saying yes to things that maybe feel no in your body. When your body is saying, no, don't do this, and you do it anyways, and then you're wondering why like things are happening. Like it's time for you to reassess your boundaries and and also tuning in. Like Gina said, you need to tune into yourself, into your intuition, and pay attention, because the universe is definitely like shining a light forward, but you're kind of ignoring some of the signs. So but know that like you get to choose every day how your life is going to go. When you wake up in the morning, are you choosing to see it as, holy shit, this day's going to be a suck fest? Or are you choosing to say, you know what, I'm going to make the best out of the situation and do what needs to happen, knowing that I get to do something when I get home that brings me more joy, whatever it is. So it's just kind of, again, it's about a little bit about choices, but it's also about tuning into your heart space and really untangling some of the things that you are either saying to yourself, speaking out loud, and giving yourself way more grace and understanding and compassion than you are. So I'm going to leave that with you. Yeah. And by the way, if these things resonate with you, please put it in the comments. We want to know that too. And again, we're doing this today and on Thursday on my page. So so make it sure you leave us a comment.
Yeah. And Sandy, I'm just going to say, you said HR lied about the hours. You know, it's funny when Michele and I get together, or when I do work for people, it doesn't matter what the outside circumstances are. It is what it is. Here it is, black and white. What are you going to do with what you have going on right now? And just like Michele said, I agree 100%. You get to decide what you're going to do. Fine. You don't want to be there. Fine. Move on. But I guarantee if you don't start doing the work on the inside, you're going to keep lining these things up for you, and things are going to keep not working out for you. There comes a point, you're here for a reason. There comes a point in our spiritual journey where we really have to decide, you know what? I really need to kind of take control back of my life. We give our power away to everybody else. You know, we want to blame the world for where we're at, when in all reality, we need to come back inside of ourselves. And I'm really not trying to be hard on you. I'm just there's a different way of seeing this. And the spiritual journey is all about standing up and going, oh, you know what? I need to take my power back and decide what I can do, what I need to do, for me and for myself. And that's what's important. So sending you lots of love. I hope that makes much sense. And yeah, I'd love to hear how that works for you. So Laura was the next one. Oh. So, hey, Laura.
Okay, I love it.
It seems to be a family thing, Laura. I'll just say that. Laura, what are we doing for you today? I love actually that you said, I'm taking a personal day for me. I'm taking time to do me, because to me, I just going to say, as I tapped into your energy, and I know Laura and actually just got to see her just a few weeks ago, and it was kind of cool, that your energy feels a lot lighter. Your energy feels like you're making some progress, like you're pushing things. Because before, when I've tapped into you, we're still kind of in that heavy muck, the relationship muck. So I just wanted to point that out to you today, that as I stepped into your energy today, a lot of that seemed to kind of be moved out of the way, and there was a pathway opened up in there, which felt really cool. I feel like you're in a lot of questioning stage. There's a lot of changes going on in your life. And I know that about you too as well. There's a lot of changes in kids and life, and things kind of seem to be moving around. And I feel like your guides are just telling you, you know what, just keep being open. Just keep moving through the muck. Just keep allowing this to like flow for you. You don't need to know the ending. You don't need to know how everything is going to work out. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep taking this time every day for yourself. Really pulling in that selfishness. There's a lot of people who will be like, selfishness? No, it's a good thing. It's such a good thing when we start spending more time with ourselves and really giving ourselves sick days and doing these things. It's an opportunity to open up and expand that energy. Thank you. Exactly what is happening. Yay. So, really allow that energy just to expand and open up. And forget worrying about the end. The end doesn't matter. It's the journey along the way. So I'll let Michele do her
So for you, Laura, I'm feeling the lower chakras like are a little stagnant. Like that you've been, again, when we're adulting and we're living in overwhelm and we're like struggling to just get through the day because we have so many things on our to-do list. And guess what? Like, I see you, I hear you, I totally know that. And sorry, like my computer's all wonky. Anyways, so know that like you need to sit in your power a little bit. You need to bring your energy back down into your body. You need to get out of kind of living up here, like the squirrel on the hamster wheel, just like running and running and running. You need to kind of bring that. So getting more grounded. So today, and I don't know where you're in Utah, right? I think she's in Utah.
She's in Utah. Yep.
Yeah. So I know it's really hot out right now, but like if there's some point in today that you can get outside and go for just a really kind of calm, meditative kind of walk to bring your energy back into your body, it's going to allow you to have greater focus. It's going to allow you to sort of see things a little bit more clearly as well, because it feels like you're seeing things with this lens that's not really, it's just shadowing some of the stuff that's actually there waiting to be brought in. You're seeing it through this. They're just showing me, it's like wearing sunglasses like at night. They're like, but when you take the glasses off, you can see things a lot clearer, with a greater and a higher perspective, and how it all kind of relates to each other, because it feels like you're really moving in the right direction. You just sort of need to see it a little bit clearer. But also, again, in your sacral chakra, like if you're feeling uninspired and you're just being like, oh my God, like I have no, like I'm just doing everything for every other person except for today because you're taking the day off, which is amazing. But it's time for you to really open up that sacral chakra and figure out how you can create more inspiration and more passion in your life and find that space, right? And opening up your sacral chakra is all about movement. It's shaking your ass in the kitchen when you're making dinner. It's really about opening up that space. And as a woman, there's a lot of other ways that you can do it. I don't necessarily need to be specific about it, but take care of yourself. Reclaim your desire, open that space up, because there's a lot of things just waiting to be born, right? And I'm not saying people, I'm saying there's new projects, there's new inspiration, there's new things just waiting, but there's so much stagnant energy in there that it's just stuck. So I'm going to leave that with you. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, I'm glad you're here, Laura. I'm glad you got a break. Yeah, it feels like Spirit has something for me, and I'm happy to hear it. Thank you, beautiful ladies. Yeah, no, you're very welcome. So hopefully that's helpful. Take some time today, and sending you lots of love, girl. So Cindy is next. So Cindy. I feel like you have a lot of confusion going on in your life. I feel this as I stepped into your energy field. It was like, I feel like I have so many things swirling around me, and there's no taking time to figure it out. I feel like you don't even really understand how to even figure it out. And so it's just this state of confusion, and really a state of confusion is what I want to say, like a total state of confusion. I don't even know how else to even describe it. I just feel like everything's like swirling around my head. I feel like that I'm just in this constant go, 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 go. There's a lot of go, go, go in there. And I feel like you're using the go, go, go to, and a lot of us do this. This is not just you. This is a worldwide epidemic. We use go, go, go as a way to not have to deal with what's really going on in our lives. And so, and I feel like there's a lot of that going on in here for sure. And so you need to find some quiet time. I'm just going to tell you flat out, you need to go do what, and I just saw you post, good message for all of us. Yeah, you need to do what Michele just told Laura to do. You need to go for a walk. You need to get out of your own head. You need to take a day off if I'm not sure what your life looks like for you, but I feel like you need some moments to really decide. I feel like you have a lot of decisions to make. Do you understand that? And you're not making any of it. You're just like, I just don't even know. I'm just in the middle of this state of confusion, and you're overthinking. Your ego's all up in your head. I feel your whole chakra system. I just felt pretty much your whole body is just like boom, whacked out. You've just got so much coming at you. If you understand that, you can let me know. So I feel like you need some rest. You need to get out of your own head. You need to take a big deep break. Stop beating yourself up for not doing everything that you think needs to be magically done in a day. Cindy 100% seems to be along for the ride lately. Yeah. Really just taking some time for you need to decompress. And you will never figure out the answers to what's going on in your life in this state of overwhelm and overthinking and overdoing. You will never get it. I don't care how hard you try. I don't care how many cards you pull. I don't care what you're doing as long as you're in this, it's not going to come in. It's when you stop and slow down and do these other things, that's when you start getting the hits again. That's when we line our chakras back up. That's when we really start tapping back into our power, really calling in our guide team, and that's when we start getting the downloads again. So I'll let Michele.
So Cindy, as soon as I tuned into your energy, I have a headache. Like my head is just like, there's like a ring of pressure around my entire head right now. And I'm like, okay. So it also feels like maybe you're not sleeping. It feels like you're kind of like sitting in so much overwhelm that you're now waking yourself up because of stress and anxiety. And Gina's told, like, you need to get grounded. You need to bring your energy back into your body. And the best way to do that is literally going for a very meditative walk. And I say meditative it's not exercise. You're not out going, I'm jogging. No, it is. You're noticing the birds. You're noticing the flowers. You're noticing your neighbor's new car, whatever it is. But you're noticing you're being in the now. Because here's the thing, when we start feeling anxious, when we start living in that space of overwhelm and just pressure building up, like when we go outside and we get grounded and we get focused and we're very mindful about living in the moment, that is where you bring your energy back. That is where you get refocused. That is how all of a sudden things become clearer because you're not stressing your system out.
Yep.
It brings your stress levels down. It helps you get refocused. And this goes for anybody who's having any kind of anxiety or who's feeling distracted or just not really like in the moment. Go outside for 5 minutes, walk around your neighborhood and come back and just see how focused you are when you come back. But that being said, again, there's just a lot of anxiety. There's just a lot of, it feels like there's just a lot of pressure on you right now. Like it's almost like there's a big weight on your shoulders. Like you're the responsible one and you're carrying the weight of all of this responsibility and other people's expectations and things like that. And you need to kind of put some of that down because some of it is not your actual problem. Yep. Remember, not your circus, not your monkeys. The only thing that you have control over is this, your energy, your actions and your reactions to other things, but that's it. Any other people, experiences, things like in the world, like you have zero control over them. But by worrying about them, you're just building extra anxiety onto yourself. So my advice for you is to really get a little bit more centered, get focused, get grounded. Do some breathing exercises. Those are all really helpful as well when it comes to getting yourself back in your body. But you're leaking energy like nobody's business. And then you wonder why you're tired all the time.
Yep.
So I'm going to leave that with you. And here's the thing again, for anybody who's new, who popped in, thank you guys all for joining. We are doing messages as well as a little bit of coaching here for you guys. And this is just the tidbit of what we provide in our Healing Fast Track program that's going to start next week. If you're interested and you want more information, Gina can post that link here in a minute, but the Healing Fast Track is a 4-month amazing program. And we are going to help teach you how to handle all the things that we're talking about today, as well as because we're intuitive, because I'm an energy healer, she's an energy healer, we can get you unstuck very quickly. So I just wanted to remind people that, there's options out there. We can help teach you how to do some of this work. So, okay. So Gina, who's that?
The next one, I just had one more, Cindy, I just have one more thing for you. There's some big boundaries issues going on, and Michele kind of touched on it there a little bit though, but yeah, there's some big boundary things going on too there as well. So really getting firm and deciding what's yours and what's someone else's. So anyway, I'll just leave that with you. So Jennifer Panning is next. So we have some new people here today. So I'm excited about that. Do you know Jennifer? I'm like, you do? Okay. So I do not know.
I put it into my group too. So I finally managed to figure it out before we really got going today. So.
Yay. Well, I'm happy that you're here, Jennifer, because I don't know Jennifer. So I'm excited to tap into your energy today. So Jennifer, you have a lot going on too. So the minute I tapped into you, there's a lot of heart pressure stuff going on in there. I immediately almost felt claustrophobic. Nice to meet you too, Jennifer. Thank you. I almost felt a little claustrophobic in my own body there for a second. Like I had to take a deep breath and really suck that in, because I feel this heartache. And it makes me want to cry. Actually, as I get deeper into it, there's a lot of emotions packed behind it. And it's not just with death. That's part of it. There's so much more. It's like you've been hurt. You've been stomped on. There's a lot of resentment in your life. There's a lot of anger in your life for people around you. And you're trying to get away from this. But the thing that I'm feeling for you is you actually need to go through it. And you're kind of avoiding this whole going through these feelings and these emotions, and because it's hurtful. I was riding my bike last night. My guys just showed me I hurt my arm, and I've hurt myself this last week, and I've been really I love riding my bike. Michelle can tell you, like, I love riding my bike, and not being able to ride my bike this last week and a half is like freaking killing me. But I was riding it last night and it was freaking killing me. And I was thinking about that while I was riding. It's funny that as I tap into this, because I thought how much we avoid pain in our life. And it was actually why I got my hand waving in the air, because I can't even put it down on my handlebar because it's beating the shit out of me. And it hurts with it's like how much we avoid the pain in our life. And we will go around mountains. We will walk extra 500 miles, we think, to avoid that pain, when really the way through it is literally through the middle of it. And I feel like this is an opportunity for you to really clear out your body. I feel like it's causing a lot of not only emotional upheaval in your body, but energetic upheaval. I feel like it's causing a lot of physical issues in your life, a lot of physical pains in your life. And you're kind of beating around the bush going, well, it must be this and it must be that and it must be, but really it's all centered around this big hole that I feel like I am in the middle of. And so, first off, I need to send you my love, because you need that. You need that. It's perfectly normal to feel the way that you feel. I feel like you need that validation in your life to know that everything that you've been through, everything where you're at, it's normal to feel the way that you feel. And there's no need to beat yourself up over anywhere that you're at. The thing is that you deserve to let this big elephant on your chest go so that you can take a big, deep breath. Because, dear God, you deserve to take this big, deep breath in life. And you can walk away from this. I promise you. You will always remember what it was like living under that, but you don't need to live in that every single day, being reminded of all of that. So I know that's easy for me to say, but I promise you Michelle and I are over here going, yep, there's a way to do that. There is a way to be in that space and remember where we've been, but not have to carry the heavy baggage. And so I would say the same thing for you. You need to get out. You need to start walking. You need to start moving that body, moving that, and not be afraid to go, you're right. I am angry. I am sad. I have been in this state of resentment. I am really pissed off at some people in my life who have done some really shitty things to me and have left me where I feel that I am today. But then also understanding, you know what, but it is time for me to take my power back. So I will stop there.
Yeah, there needs some forgiveness too, is what my guides are saying for you, or your guy, whatever. Anyways, there's somebody up here is also sharing too that there needs to be some forgiveness. right? And it's not just forgiving other people, it's forgiving situations, it's forgiving yourself. And a reminder to everyone, forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is specifically for you, and it clears the energetic attachment to that situation or person, right? It is for you. You never have to say, I forgive you to someone. It is purely for yourself. And it is an energetic release, allowing that situation or person to no longer have a stranglehold on you. And so I know a little bit about what's going on right now. And some of this is that, like, you need to allow yourself to, one, work through the anger that you have about the situation too, that's kind of like brought some of the stuff up that I already know about. And so, but you need to also sort of forgive yourself, forgive your body for failing you. Right. And that's the other key thing, is that when we hold resentment and anger at our body, right, whether that be because of an injury, because it's not doing what it's supposed to. A lot of women, like, we carry so much anger towards our bodies because it doesn't do what it's meant to do, whether that's infertility, you end up having fibroids, like whatever, right? You end up holding resentment, and you holding resentment, like, for and against your body does not allow it to heal completely. Right? It holds that energy, it holds that anger, and it creates dis-ease in your body. Right. And so they're really, for whatever reason, for you right now, it's about forgiveness and everything that Gina just said. Because again, our guides are like, we don't need to repeat ourselves, but forgiveness is going to be very key. And really allowing yourself to feel the feelings, because it feels like, again, you are shut off from your emotions, and that you don't really like to show your emotions, and whatever it is that you do. We live in this very masculine society, and especially if you end up working in a corporate environment, we end up hiding our emotions. We end up not allowing them to feel because we've always been dismissed. We're afraid of how people are going to take our emotions. And so they're just reminding you, like, it's important that you feel them, understand what they're trying to tell you, because our emotions are there for a reason. We're meant to feel all of our emotions, all of them, good, bad, indifferent, doesn't matter. We're meant to feel all of them. And they're there to teach us or tell us something about our life, like what's going on. So the more that you can listen to your emotions, figure out what they are, and move through them, that's where healing really starts to happen. When we start moving through them, when we go, okay, I see you. What are you trying to tell me? Why am I feeling this right now? What story am I still telling myself that I have to feel this way over whatever is happening in my life right now? So they're just sort of sharing that guidance for you right now too, is forgiveness and feeling the emotions are going to be really helpful as you work through clearing this heart blockage, we'll say.
Yeah.
Thank
and
you for being
here. I can relate with a lot of what's going on with you, Jennifer. Michelle can shake her head to that. Like, it's not always easy, but it's part of our bodies are here. It's part of our learning and growth. So that's the other thing to kind of take a look at, is it's all part of our growth too. And sometimes it sucks more than others. We'll just leave it at that. But it's part of our learning and growth too. So anyway, love you, girl. Sending you lots of love. So Tammy, is Tammy still on? She's the one that keeps coming up, Facebook user. So Facebook is lovely. It decides, even if you have, because we use StreamYard. When Michelle and I go live together, we always use StreamYard because it's the easiest way to do it. But if you haven't enabled StreamYard, or even if you have enabled StreamYard, sometimes you just have to keep doing it over and over again. So so that we can see your name, but it's fine. So Tammy, let's see. So Tammy, as I stepped into your energy, there's kind of a little bit of a lot of beating yourself up. A lot of ego is going on. So hi, Georgianne. I see you, and yes, I have you down. So maybe you should go down. So anyway, so Tammy, as I step into your energy, I feel like there is this, and I want to say this there's this sense of kind of, I just can't do anything. I'm really kind of getting angry with myself and life, and really just kind of a lot of the things that we said to Jennifer, I feel like kind of apply to you in the same way for different reasons maybe. you're kind of in this powerless place, is what I'm trying to say here. You're in this very much powerless place of feeling like you can't do anything. There's nothing that you can do to change your situation. You've been here for so long, it's never going to go away. Maybe I feel like the excuses are kind of coming in of why money is, there isn't enough money and there isn't enough time and I don't have enough help and I don't have all the things. And so you're really in this, when I do ego work with people, there's two parts of ego that sometimes we don't understand. There's the ego one that's like yelling at us and like, you're an idiot, like you see on the Grinch, and he's like, you're an idiot. And or there's this other part that we go to that is it's a little more subtle. And it's like, oh, you poor thing. Look at the life that you've been given. It's so terrible. You're never going to get ahead. You're never going to be able to do anything. You're never going to figure this shit out. And why try? And it really is this victim mode that we kind of go to. And the thing is, it's fine. Michele and I both, I go to victim mode. I have my days where I'm like, what? I need to set in this for a minute. But the thing is when we're on a healing journey, we need to learn to make those, we cut them down. We don't do 6 months of victim mode. We do a few hours of victim mode. Or maybe sometimes I need 24 hours. I'm like, no, you want to sulk in that? Fine, you sulk in that. And then tomorrow, when we get up in the morning, we're going to figure out how to make this shit work. And it's not that our lives are like happy go. I got up this morning and I was like, really, are we doing this day? Like, I know I had to go and like, everybody's like, oh, you're so happy all the time. It's not always happy-go-lucky every morning. I got up, I was feeling tired, I was just not really feeling the mode. And I was like, you know what? Nope, I have people to serve today. I have things to do. I need to get my shit together. And so I did. I went in, I started listening to my Mind Valley stuff. I went and popped on YouTube. I started listening to Abraham. I started really moving myself through those feelings. And I feel like we all need that lesson every day, because it's not that we're just naturally like, whoa, here we go. But we have to get ourselves out of that victim mode and into what can I do? Where does my power lie? And what can I push forward on today? And let the rest of it go. If there's some things that you just don't have solutions to and you don't have, let that go and stop marinating in that shit. Focus on what you can do. What are the things that you get to do? What are the things that are available to you? And focus on those. So, Michele, I will.
Yes. And it takes a minute sometimes for us. Like, I'm going to definitely sort of marry off of what Gina said is it's not all sunshine and roses in our lives. But the thing is that we've learned how to work through them. We have the tools in order to help us manage them. And we also know that when we can't cope ourselves, we come and see someone like Gina or myself. We go to the other person and go, hello, I need your help, right? So we understand this about ourselves. And this is also what our Healing Fast Track program is going to help people do, is understand how they can get through and work through it instead of sitting and wallowing. But for you, Tammy, I really started feeling a lot of pressure in my low heart chakra and my solar plexus, which again, as Gina already mentioned, is about power. And it feels like you've been giving your power and your choices away to other people for a really long time. And sometimes it's really hard to reclaim them, especially if you've been used to it. You have a habit, right? You've become the person that people just go, it's fine, Tammy will do it. Right. And you're just like, wait, I didn't make that choice, but you go and do it anyways. You say yes when you mean no. And I feel like a lot of the stuff that we've been saying today is like almost a broken record a little bit. So everybody on here, when you're in these containers that Gina and I provide, chances are like you're all dealing with something similar, right? Everybody has their own unique situation, but the fact that we keep saying some of the same things means that everybody on here probably needs to take note. Because we're all sort of living in this kind of overwhelmed state. So for you, Tammy, getting back to you, is it's really about reclaiming your power. It's really about setting good, clear boundaries, saying no when you mean no. and not allowing other people to make those decisions for you. And because when you give those decisions away, when you give your choices away and you let someone else make them for you, you are handing your power over on a platter. And you wonder why you feel drained, why you feel, again, I'm feeling some worthlessness, some I'm not enough, some imposter, some like, well, woe is me. Just like Gina said, the whole victim thing is, but that's because you've been handing your power to all these people for your whole life. And a lot of this comes from the inner child wound. That is what they're sharing with me. And again, because we're on this sort of live space, we can't go into a lot of healing, but just know that like you probably need to go in and really sort of evaluate the wound that's making you feel like a victim, and it stems from your very young childhood. And when you can sort of understand that root cause, it's going to start unraveling a lot of things for you, and you're going to be able to start stepping a little bit more into your power and taking that back. But boundaries, babe, like you need to make choices when someone asks you, hey, what do you want to have for dinner? Hey, where do you want to go for dinner? Say where you want to go for dinner. Don't give that choice away. And I know that's a meaningless sort of simple kind of thing, but if someone asks you, make the choice, because that's just a simple start in making more choices along the way and making bigger and more important choices along the way. But you have to, so I'm just going to say, start small. When someone asks you something that's a simple choice, make it. And then you will start building upon that and making those bigger and bigger choices that you need to make for yourself. But it's a habit. You've created this habit. You've been doing it for a really long time. And it's going to take a little bit of time to unravel it. But it's time. It's time for you to be the leader of your own damn life. Stop being an employee. Like, no, it's your life. Choose. All right, I'll leave that.
No, and I love that, Michelle. You just described perfectly what we do when we help people do their healing work. It's really going back, doing those inner child healing, taking care of those wounds, unraveling it, so to speak. That's literally what we do. And I'm always amazed when we go back and we think that, oh, it can't be that big a deal. I hear people tell me all the time, I had the perfect childhood. I'm like, no, you didn't. There was something for somewhere along the way. No parents are perfect. None of us said the right things every time you needed it. None of us, you came home from school one day and you were so excited and we were too busy and you told yourself you weren't enough. Like there's just these, and it can be big, it can be small, it can be all these things, but it affects our lives every single day for the rest of our lives until we decide to do something about it.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
Yeah. So this is why you see sometimes the adults acting like 2-year-olds. It's because,
they haven't healed that. They're reacting instead of acting. They're reacting to something and they're triggered and there's all sorts of things. But when you can get clear and understand like and here's the thing, I had a great childhood. Don't get me wrong. I had a very fine childhood, but like even just last summer, Gina uncovered like I had an abandonment issue that I didn't know I had at 49. And I've been doing this work for 5 long years. Not long years, but 5 years as far as like my healing journey started 5 years ago. Let's put it that way. After I got a divorce, I suddenly realized the importance of it. Right. Yeah. And I've been seeing Gina for over 80 years and a half now, pretty much. And it just came up. And I had no idea because my parents weren't divorced. But my dad traveled and there was all these things and he passed away. And there's all these like circumstances that made me feel abandoned that I had no idea. But then it made so much sense when it came to my relationships that I had throughout my whole life. So again, just when you can really, and this is a whole month, like we tap into healing. A lot of it has to do with inner child stuff in our Healing Fast Track program. Yep. It's like we spend a lot of time on it because it matters.
Yep.
It matters. You can start living a life that is filled with way more joy and less tantrums.
Yeah.
When you start working on it and healing it. So, all right, I'll
absolutely. Okay. So Ward, are you still on? Because I went back up and realized that I had skipped over you and I didn't mean to do that. So if you're on, let me know.
And Heather, we still have Heather too, I think. Right?
Yep. So then Heather and then Georgianne.
Yay.
Ooh. Yay. Hi, Georgianne. Thank you for all being here today. It's
so great to see like a full bunch of people today. So great.
So Ward, here you are. Okay. Thank you for being here today. So Yeah, and Georgianne, yeah, I was so excited. So, Ward, let me tap into you for a second. I feel like now when I say this, know that to me, I still consider myself in my infancy of my healing. So as I say this, know that but I feel like you're kind of, I want to say rediscovering your healing path. Do you understand that? Like you're just kind of like, oh, gosh, so many things are making sense to me. I feel like you're kind of like, whew, oh, your crown chakra is like, whew, you're like sucking it all in. It's like, here I am. I'm finally like ready to do this. The downfall of that is like you're on a marathon sprint right now. And it's like they're going. Do you understand? Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Because I feel like, and we do this a lot. I see this a lot. I work with a lot of people in all different areas of their healing aspect. And I saw it with myself, and we like dive in and we're like ready to go. And we're like, can't we just get through all this? We need to like get it all right now, get this over with. Let's move this shit out. Like, and okay, yes, you do. As I'm over here going, like, and so your message today is like, slow down. I wanted to say something else in there, but I'll keep it like, slow down. Like, literally take a deep breath. Because here's the cool thing as we start doing our process, when we're in this is still overdrive. This isn't the piece that we want to bring in. This is not where real true healing lies. It's not that you can't get it along the way, but this is frantically trying to work through all the shit and get to where we think that we need to be. And that is not how healing works. Healing to me is a lifetime process. I still consider myself in my infancy, and I've been doing this a very long time. And I still would tell you that I'm in the infancy to toddler years in my healing. And so if you can understand that this is a lifelong, I would say even many lifetimes long, and that you don't have to get it all today. And you don't need to worry about what the end is either, because the end result doesn't matter. The end result doesn't. So what? You're going to get a certificate at the end? Like, great, completion. Like, it does, none of that matters. What matters is what you're getting along the way, and how well you're learning to tap into yourself, and how well you're learning to understand yourself on a different, deeper level. Because you are this spiritual being. I can feel that. I feel like you have messages to spread. I feel like there's going to be a time in your life when you're going to be like, I'm ready. And if you're not already, I'm ready to get out there and start helping other people do it. But I feel like you really need to like backtrack here for a minute and really set in your healing and really get what you need to get it's like this critical point in your healing. So I hope that makes sense for you. I'm not telling you to not do it. I'm just telling you to slow the fuck down just a little bit. Like just for a hot second. Like, and really your guides are even like, man, he's like up at 2 a.m. and we like got to do all the things, and what does that mean? And what does this mean? And what does that like, it all means exactly what it needs to mean, and you'll get exactly what you need, but you've got to slow it down and really just calm down just a little bit. So I need to rest myself. There you go. Like,
and what I'm getting for you, sorry, Gina, I didn't know if you were done.
I'm done. Go ahead.
So my heart feels there's like a lot of pressure. It's not so much pain. It's just like pressure. And it's sort of, and your guides are kind of sharing a little bit that you're sort of doing a little bit of spiritual bypassing. You're sort of like jumping over what needs to actually be healed. You're kind of like, great, I learned that. Meanwhile, you haven't allowed it to integrate. You haven't spent a moment really processing it. And so again, you're doing so much work. Cause again, my head is like, there's a lot of pressure, but it's basically like your crown chakra is so blown open, but you're actually not really living in your body, and you're not allowing your feelings to come up and for you to understand some of the messages that are behind the feelings. Because you're just like, great, I just want to know everything. And that's amazing and beautiful. And your guides, like I said, Gina already told you this, like they are excited for you, right? They're really excited, but you need to still take a step back. You need to pause and you need to allow things to integrate into your body because we're living in a human form. We're here on an earthly level. We're here to experience it as a human. And when we love to, like, again, Gina and I love living up here. Love it. I love living up here, but that's not where life happens. So they're just reminding you, especially when we start our spiritual journey, we love, like, we're like exploring and we're like, oh my God, I can tune into all these things and it's bright and beautiful and amazing. But you have to still allow your human physical body to actually go through the process to integrate all of the stuff that you're learning about, all of the things that you're like, that are coming up for you, and not trying to jump ahead. Because if you jump ahead, spirit will just sort of push you all the way back and go, nope, that's not how it works. And it will come up in a bigger, more challenging way. So do the work now. Like I said, Gina already told you all of this, but don't try and skip ahead. Take it step by step because you're building a foundation, a really loving and amazing foundation for your life moving forward. And it's so vast. And you have so much to offer and to give this world in an even bigger way than you may even realize. But you have to set the foundation. And if you don't, like, then your footing may just kind of get a little bit shaky. So they're just encouraging you to really set this solid foundation for this big, beautiful, bright life that is like coming towards you right now. So I'm going to leave you with that. Hopefully that resonated with you.
Well, and Michelle and I think we both can say that we've probably been here. We've been in this place and we want to just see, and he's scared that if he lets the emotions come out, we'll not have control over them. I have a lot of pain to feel this period. And to be honest, I'm scared. You know, there's nothing to be afraid of with emotions. I've had vulnerable times in my life. I can tell you where I have sobbed and heaved for hours. You know, have a safe place to do that and let those suckers come out. You know, be with someone that you feel safe with to share that with. And really allow yourself, because it really is a gift. It really, truly, absolutely is a gift.
And when you hold it in, it creates massive dis-ease in your body. Like it can really create problems in your physical body when you hold that in. I know for a lot of women who hold in our emotions, and when we end up like feeling really shitty about ourselves, like it creates breast cancer, it creates major gut issues. So I just encourage you, Ward, to really start recognizing it and allowing them out in a safe space. Like set a whole day aside if you can. Be like, you know what, today I'm going to really dive deep and I'm going to allow myself to feel it and work through it. And then you can sort of get through it. And if you need help, again, there's people like us that can help you, walk you through this big step. But you need to feel it though. We are meant to feel all of our emotions. And we've been told, especially by our parents as kids, like, what are you whining about? Stop your belly aching. What are you doing? Be quiet. Whatever it is, like we've been told, and we internalize that. And then we say, well, it's not safe for me to express it. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah. I just had another thought for you. Spirit just dumped in my head. Start with something that isn't so big. Start with the smaller things. A lot of times we want to go and we think we need to like dive in. We got to get to that big thing. And Spirit just showed me there's some things in your life that aren't as big and overwhelming. Start there and start feeling those feelings and start getting used to feeling them. When I sit with people in healing sessions, we like get used to letting those feelings come up. And I have to like talk to people. It's okay. Don't push them back down because they're so used to shoving them back down, and it starts coming up in their throat, and they start burping, and they start getting really uncomfortable. And it's like, nope, let that feeling come up, let it sit there for a minute, acknowledge it, and then we allow it to go out. So, you know, start with something that isn't so big, and allow yourself to start getting in that pattern of feeling it and releasing it, feeling it and releasing it. So yeah. I will leave.
Again, for those of you who join, like that's what our Healing Fast Track is really all about. Honestly, it's like is a safe container to help you understand, work through them, and to really kind of provide you the guidance and the space to do it. It's a really sacred container that I can't wait to start next week. So again, if you want more information, it's GinaStroll.com/ I think fast track.
Yep, and the link's up in the comments. So I've already
But it's a powerful program, and excuse me. So it's just something that's there for you if you need assistance and help. We are here for you. That is what we do, and we provide it in a really big, bold way. So
thank you, Ward. Thank you
yes,
for letting us read for you today. So Heather, you're next. If you're still on, you can let me know. I know sometimes we get kind of awesome. You're very welcome, Ward. And so Heather, if you're still on, let me know. We'll kind of, yep. Okay. So Heather's here. So Heather, what is it that you need to hear today? I feel very divided as I get into your energy field. So I felt this really pretty much a dividing of my body. And one side I felt really sad and really almost like an out-of-body experience sad. It was really kind of a unique feeling for me because I got divided right down the middle of my body. And then there's this other side that's like, no, but we got to keep pushing. We got to keep doing. We got to keep going. We got to keep going. And it's like you've separated the two. They don't get to come together. They don't get to merge together. We can't be that and we can't be this. We have to be like, we have to keep them. It's a really weird, it's a really weird feeling for me because I feel like I'm very out there telling me separate from my body is what I'm trying to describe here. It's almost like there's a separation in there from my body. And we're going to talk about pain today. We got a lot of emotional, physical, lots of pain going on in lots of different areas. And I feel like I'm having kind of this out of body thing going on. Do you understand that, Heather? You're not grounded in your body at all. This is like, it's like, but I'm separated. It's really kind of a bizarre feeling. I can't say that I've ever really have. That's why I was like, I just kept describing it to you because I'm like, I can't say that I've ever really like not felt it to that magnitude. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. Like you're here, you're seeing the things. It's like you're watching it on the screen, but you're really very, very disconnected. And it's almost like you've like put things in a box. This box goes over here. This box goes over here. And we never mix nothing gets mixed up. So I'm asking your guys, I'm like, so why did you have me detached is a very good. But I feel like a lot of the detach is going on because when you set yourself down into your body, you don't like what you feel there. And you haven't ever really liked what you feel that. In fact, I'm going to go back and even say they're showing me from the minute you came here, you've pretty much been detached in this physical world because you were like, yeah, I don't want to do this. This really sucks. You like throw me in this stupid, dumb body that really just hasn't been what I thought it was going to be. It was supposed to be all roses and fun and blah, 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 but it's not feeling fun. It's not feeling good to be in this body. I feel like maybe there's a lot of physical issues going on that you're really running from, that you're hiding from really what's going on. You don't want to deal with them. There's a lot of other things emotionally that are going on that you really just don't want to deal with. So you've just totally detached. The thing that I see for you that is the biggest issue with all this detachedness is you're missing all of the cool moments that are going on right in front of you. And you're seeing them and you're sitting there, but you're not feeling any of it. You're not having any of it. Do you understand as I described that to you? Because that was a big old description for, because I feel like it's time for you to come home. This is what I feel like. Like they just told me she needs to come home. She needs to be back inside of her body, really attached, grounded, and you need some help to do that. And they're just telling me that flat out. Like I could sit here and try and bring you home right now, but without doing some work, I feel like you need some help to do this. You need some help to figure this out because there's a lot of things that have contributed to where you are right now. The big thing that I can see for you is that I don't know if you have a meditative practice or something, but I can see this needs to start coming in for you. Some chakra healing needs to start coming in for you, really working with those chakras and getting them moving again, because everything just feels really stagnant and slow to me. And it's like, it's not used to to running and moving because it hasn't had everything all connected like it's needed for a long time. So I don't know if you have a meditative practice. Definitely time to start one of those. We've been talking a lot about walking and grounding yourself. This would be very helpful. And your guides are also telling me to tell you that whatever has happened in the past, there's nothing to be. And I want to be, they're telling me to be careful as I say it that way. Hold on. The things that have happened in the past, the shame needs to go. That's how I need to say it. The shame needs to be let go around all of that. And it needs to, it's not consistent. Yeah, because there's so much going on. There's so much going on. That's why I'm like, you need some help. Like you need some help, so that you can make it more consistent. But I feel like you just need to understand that whatever has happened to you in the past, the shame doesn't need to be there. And that it's really time to really tap into you and get real with what's going on and where you're at so that you can feel at home inside of your own body. So I'll let Michelle.
Yeah, well, I know, Heather.
Oh.
So Heather, honestly, my neck is killing me. Like there's like a pain that goes right up into the base of my skull right now. That's excruciating. That's why if you've been watching me, I've been doing this like the whole time. And so I don't know if you're having some neck issues or if it's actually an energetic block, but it's not great. So
it's not great.
Not great. So there's like I said, there's just a lot of pressure in the back of my neck. So that it feels like it's actually a physical issue that you're having right now, is that you've hurt your neck, or there's something going on with that vertebrae that's attaching to the very base of your brain. And so you need to we're doing some energy stuff, arthritis. Okay. Well, you need to it's almost like you need to stretch your neck out. So they're kind of sharing that you need to do almost like some yoga work on stretching your back completely out, and stretching your neck specifically, because it just feels like, one, you're also not sitting right. Your neck is like in this weird position, whether that's you're looking at your phone or your computer's not set up right, but it feels like you're just not sitting right. So this is not a message from spirit. This is me energetically telling you, you need to figure out your neck situation, and you need to work on it, because it's creating a block of energy. And so it's not able to flow completely through your body. It's actually creating almost like the energy from the divine is trying to flow through, and then it's just goes, and it's stuck here a little bit. So the more you can stretch that muscle out is going to allow your chi to flow through your body a little bit better. So that's like the biggest overwhelming message that I have for you right now, is because I'm feeling it in a big bad way right now. So, but let me see if your guides have anything else that they want to tell you.
I also feel like too that, Michelle, it's not just physical. There's some energy stuff that's going on here as well.
Yeah. It's a really big knot, and it's again, I don't usually feel pain like right now. I usually get it and then it goes away, but right now they're very persistent about it. So whether you could even get someone to help massage some of it, but you also need to do some work, and it's probably throat chakra related, to be very honest. So work on, speaking your mind, showing up authentically, being really true to who you are, sharing your opinions, sharing what you're feeling, and letting all of that out, because like I said, it just feels like a lot of stagnant energy, but also it feels almost like an injury, and not like a serious injury. It just feels like you hurt it in some way, because it's just blocking all of the energy here. So it also, from a gut perspective, they're showing me your solar plexus and your gut, and so making sure that you're taking better care of yourself, because it feels like you're doing all of these things for other people. And I know you teach amazing classes, and so they're kind of like, it's time for you to do the same for yourself. All the things that you're sharing with other people, you need to actually take the time to do yourself right now. And Mercury's going into retrograde, and there's a full moon. And so this is a really great time to sort of go within and to really sort of examine how you're treating yourself, and making sure that you're sort of doing the necessary healing work for yourself that you provide to other people. So I'm going to share that with you. That I will leave that with you, and hopefully that resonated.
Nicole, I have a question for you because it's very interesting to me. So, here's, because I don't know you. And so, here's Michele. You do all this healing. What are you doing for yourself in the healing? Because when we are healers for other people, it's very easy for us to get all discombobulated, literally. And so I would maybe not even ask, you don't need to put it in here in the comments, but how are you taking care of yourself when you are not doing the healing work for others? Because that is more important. And I will tell you from personal experience, that is more important than the work that we do for others. Because if we are not at our best and we are not taking care of ourselves at our best and doing that, then it truly does affect the work that we do. And so I would ask you to maybe reevaluate these boundaries too, and these things that you are doing to take care of your own energetic field, and make that your priority even before you do work for anybody else. So I'm just going to throw that out there for you. You can evaluate that and see where that's at, but that's just food for thought there, as you're doing that for other people, because it was really interesting to me how disconnected you felt inside of your body. And if you're having pain and you're having all these things, we're going to feel disconnected. But as energy healers, it's like, what are we doing? Where are our boundaries at? Where, to me, that's kind of the basis of where we start with all of this other stuff that's going on. So just food for thought. So I hope that's helpful for you. So anyway. All right, Miss Georgianne. Miss Georgianne, like my voice totally changes.
We love Georgianne.
Georgianne is like the bomb. You're very welcome, Heather. So I hope that's helpful for you. So Georgianne, you were saying you're super tired. I read your comment. I gotta go clear back here to even find it. So fatigued, napping most days. Maybe I should go dance. Yeah, you absolutely should go dance. I feel though that your tired comes back to your boundaries and what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do, and what you're giving away and what there's this imbalance that's going on here with what's going on in your life. And I know you do amazing things out in the community as well. You're a yoga teacher, you do hypnosis stuff, you do a lot of we give. I feel like it's time to reevaluate your boundaries and really where you're at and what you can do. I almost feel like your guys are like, she needs to rework. Some things aren't working and it's draining the shit out of you. And you just keep doing it because it's easy, because it's what you've always done. And so we just keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. But I feel like there needs to be a reevaluation kind of what is, what's working for you and what's not working for you, and how that, and really what you give. Michele tells me some wonderful advice all the time. And she's like, remember when we work with people and they pay us money, we sometimes feel like that means we just have to like give them everything we got and we like throw them at it. And Michele reminds me all the time, if they're in their membership, remember that's the membership level. And if they're VIP group, remember that's the VIP group level. And really remember where we fit in on all that. It's not that we don't want to, we want help on all levels. We're givers, we're healers. But we also have to remember, in order to take care of ourselves, sometimes that means, and I tell Michele this all the time, we don't do a class that week because we are freaking exhausted. And we really need to start listening to that, because I need to sleep in today. I have got to get my energy back up to where it needs to be, whatever it is for you. So I'm not telling you that's what you need to do, but I'm telling you, I feel like you need to reevaluate what you're giving and what you're doing and what your services are. I'm also feeling like too, and this is like totally off for those of you who don't have businesses, but I feel like we need to evaluate the energy that's coming in for you versus the energy that's going out. And that's kind of what we've been talking about. But I feel like it's time to maybe reevaluate your prices so that energy exchange comes in, because we can get really tired if we feel like we're doing, and that energy exchange just isn't coming in. So I'm going to leave you there. I feel like your body is moving. I feel like things, because you do yoga and you do all the things, but I think there's some places there that could really I'll let Michelle hit on all the chakras. She can do that. That's her. So
we both do it. So, but anyway,
do it in a different way.
Georgiana, what's coming in is play.
Mm-hmm.
Like it feels like you're in this like adult mode, right? When we all are, but it sort of feels like you've been putting a little bit more time and effort into the adulting part and not so much into the play and the enjoyment of it all. So they're almost like saying like, do a yoga class that's just fun, like belly yoga, belly laugh yoga, whatever. I don't know. But it just kind of feels like you need to bring a little bit more joy and fun and lightheartedness into the work that you're doing, because it feels like there's a lot of pressure you're putting on yourself to accomplish a lot of things, to be successful, you're putting all of this pressure on yourself, and there's a little bit of I'm not going to be able to do it, right? There's a little bit of doubt, there's a little bit of fear, but you need to kind of bring more joy and happiness and doing the things and doing more of those, right? Doing more of that in your business, in the stuff that you're creating and offers that you're having. Like, how does that make you feel? If it makes you feel joyful and excited and being like, hell yes, I can't wait to do this in the morning, instead of going, right? So you have to find a balance, right? We all have to do adulting stuff. We all have to do shit that we don't want to. But the more you can bring in a little bit more balance and bring in a little bit more joy and fun into your life, and not so I have to do this, I should do this. Stop getting in that space and being like, I get to do this, right? And I know that's hard, but finding a better balance between the two is going to help you feel a little bit more energetic, because you're not draining yourself by doing these things that don't make you feel great. And I say feel great, not in body necessarily, but mentally, emotionally, that kind of thing. So tune in and figure out, like, and they're also saying like, you don't have to do, and just like Jean said, you don't have to do everything because you've always done it that way. You get to choose and go, you know what, I'm going to change up my offerings. And I know that like with winter, I know that a lot of your yoga stuff will probably change because you do a lot of stuff outside, but like tune in and be like, what doesn't serve me anymore? What is not bringing me joy anymore? And take it off your schedule.
Yep.
And figure it out and change it and move it. And tune in though. They're like, you're intuitive. Like you know this, your body's going to tell you what feels good. Do some muscle testing. Does this feel good? Yes or no? Tune in and be like, yeah, I want to do this because it brings me joy, right? And it brings me money and it brings me like satisfaction, and I help a whole bunch of people. Do that. Do more of that. Because right now you're like, whatever it is that you're doing is sucking the life out of you because you feel like you have to do it. And you
stuff out in public too. Oh yeah, dude, totally. You know, Georgiana, I'm just going to tell you, there has been a big change. Sorry, Michelle, I didn't mean to.
I'm good. You go. It's all good.
There's been a big like shift in the whole intuitive thing. Don't be afraid to talk about intuition. You can throw that word intuition out there all that you want right now, because there really has been a big energetic shift in all of that. So speak your truth, start talking about, and your guides are telling me too, you're still doing a lot of this techie stuff that's taken a lot of your time. Would you get some freaking help with that? Seriously, like, I know you, so I can say that. Would you get some help with that? Because it's very draining to you. It doesn't feel, it's dragging you down. And I think a lot of it you can let go. I think you're trying to, I feel like you're trying to be like everybody else and like feel like you have, and you're not everybody else. You're freaking Georgiana and you get to do whatever the hell you want to do. So stop trying to fit into that mold and figure out what works for you and what doesn't. And do that. Do it your way. Because when you start doing it your way, it'll start, you'll get in
alignment. It'll be easy. You'll get in the boat, and the boat will travel down the stream exactly where it needs to go, instead of you paddling upstream and going, why am I not going anywhere?
Why am I not going anywhere? I'm turning in circles. I don't get it. It's because you hate what you're doing. Not the yoga part, everything else, you know, whatever it is for you. So, yeah, stop going in circles. That's exhausting. So, and yeah, remember where people fit in on your little ladder there, and remember this is the level they get, and this is the level, and if they want to buy up to that, great, like fabulous. Let's do the energy exchange and let's do it. So I hope that's helpful for you. I love you. So, yeah, I want to see more of that. Yeah. Love this. I needed to hear this. Yeah, love you, Jordan. I miss being around you. So, all right,
okay,
Fran.
I have about like 15 minutes before I have to sort of.
That's what I have too. So I have Francis. That's what I keep watching the clock because we have just a few more minutes. So I figured we'd go as far as we could go, and then that's what we would do. So
friendly reminder.
Yeah. So remember, we've talked all about today for the fast track healing. If you want to see more of us, Michele and I both do single sessions. We're also doing the fast track right now. So we also both have memberships. The cool thing is if you come join us in fast track, you get to be part of both of our memberships. You get free meditations and you get to work with both of us in the fast track healing program.
And you get a free session with one of us. So.
And you get a free session. You get a free healing session with one of us, plus coaching and all sorts of, you get more of this all the time. So
you will be sick of us by 4 months.
So if you've enjoyed today, if you've liked being in this energy, come and join us inside the fast track. The link is in the comments. A couple of times we posted it in there. So,
and as a reminder, if we don't get to you today, we're going to be on my page, Radiant Living HLC, here on Facebook. We're going to be doing similar messages and coaching. It's going to be, I think, 1:30 Mountain Time on Thursday. And that event will get posted later today. But if you're interested and you're just like, I want to know, I want to be in their energy a little bit more, Thursday we'll be back doing it. So
yep. So awesome. All right, Francis, are you still on? I just want to make sure people are still on, because if not, I'm going to move to the next one. We'll just give her a hot second. So, Francis, if you're still on, post. If not, I'm going to go to the next one, because we just want to be able to have that feedback from you. Okay, so Diane. Is Diane on? I know sometimes we get long-winded when we start doing readings. We get moving.
So yeah, if you're still here, how about post? Let us know that you're still here.
Yeah, let me know you're still here.
Diane's still here.
Thank you. All right, so Diane, let's do well, you have some lovely energy. Can I just I'm like, you have some lovely energy. And Christina's here too. So Diane.
I gotta clear my energy.
I know I need to do. I was
like, okay, get rid of my neck pain. All right, go ahead.
Still feeling a little bit in my chest too. So Diane, yeah, you have some really good energy. I'm like, they're giving me so much. I'm like, what is it that we need to, what's the one thing we need to narrow it down to today? You have a lot going on in your life is what I'm seeing. Like this, like there's a lot going on. I feel like you need to slow down. Holy cow. That's what it is. I'm like, whoa, man, I like did this whole jittery, like I had a lot of energy all come in there at once. So I feel like you need to slow down. Oh my gosh, you're like here and there and everywhere, but this is here and there and everywhere. It's not focusing on the one thing or focusing on the things that you need to do. You're kind of like, and I hate labels, but I want to say like ADHD, like, and I'm not calling you ADHD. I'm just saying that's what I feel like. I feel like I'm like here and I'm like there and then I'm like all over the place. And I totally hate labels, but is a good way to describe that. The thing is when we get this way, our energy is scattered all over the place. You need to bring all of your energy back home, bring it back into your body, bring it back to your heart space. And for you, I feel that it would be very helpful. And I teach my VIP students this all the time. We do a lot of work on really calming down the body, mind, and soul, and bringing it back into balance every day. Because when I meet people who are like this and they're just full of, I feel like there's a lot of anxiety going on, a lot of worry about the future, a lot of worry about everything that's going on. When I meet people like this, it's like, I love teaching them to calm down every day. I encourage them to spend time every day doing some sort of peaceful healing meditation where they can really bring that body back, because what happens is we get used to being in that weirdo anxiety energy, and that's where we think is normal, and it's not normal. There's nothing normal about that. Like, that causes heart attacks, people. Like, and so really for you, I would highly suggest that you find a way to calm this body back down. This is not how you are. This is not just the way it is. We really teach ourselves how to be. And I've said it here today before, we get used to being in that energy and we just think that it's normal, and it is not normal. And we almost, I feel, hiding from what's really going on as well too. I feel like this is a good front. We can just say, well, my mind won't slow down, or I can't do that, or I can't. It's like, it's a really good front to really avoid what's really going on the inside. And so I would encourage you to start finding ways to settle down. I feel like your body needs that. I feel like there's some health issues that are going on that are contributing to this, because you've been in such this crazy space for so long. It needs to be brought back down, and really find ways to find peace inside your body. So I'm going to leave that there.
Yeah. And what's come up for me is really root chakra based, right? Mm-hmm. And it's really about being grounded, but also like rooted, right? And I know that grounding and rooting sounds the same thing, but for some reason they're showing me it's a little bit different. Mm-hmm. It's really being rooted in who you are, into sort of who you want to become, because it feels like you're sort of sitting here mulling over some options almost. It's like, okay, and I love to call this kind of the midlife awakening, right? Where we're sort of like sitting here going, I want more. Like, there has to be more in this life than whatever it is that I'm doing right now. Like, and it just sort of feels like you're sitting here on the precipice going, what's next? Because I want bigger, brighter, more beautiful, more joy, more love, more fun, whatever it is. And you're sitting there kind of afraid, and you're not making a decision. It sort of feels like you're in limbo a little bit, and you're just standing looking over this cliff going, ooh, that's a big drop. But ultimately, like the reality of it is there's like a bridge, like you just take a step, like, and you'll get there. But you have to kind of figure out what it is that you actually want, because it feels like your soul is pushing you in a direction, and you're like, what is happening? Why are all these things happening to me right now? And it's really about the universe is kind of nudging you to sort of move along the path, because it feels like you've been in the same circle like for a while. Like you've hunkered down and you've like managed your shit, and as well as maybe you feel like you've been doing, but like it's time for you to get out of the comfort zone. Thank you, Francis. Exactly. It's time for you to just kind of push yourself out of your comfort zone and go for whatever it is that your heart wants, not your brain, because your brain is dumb sometimes. What your heart wants, because it feels like you're sort of longing for more companionship, more love, more joy, more of everything. And you've been kind of sitting here in this place of, I don't have time for that, because your brain is off here creating lots of scenarios. So the more that you can get rooted into sort of what it is that you want, like what you want the next year of your life what the next 5 years look like. What do you want? And then how do you create it? And how do you get and move through the fear to get you there? Because it just sort of feels like you're sitting there going, I'm not deserving. I'm not worthy. I don't know what I want. Like whatever it is that's keeping you stuck and safe in this little cat box, get out of the cat box, push through it, move into that next thing, because there's so much more out there for you, other than like whatever it is. It just feels like you're kind of living in this like treadmill of this Groundhog Day. And you're like, you get up and you do the same thing every single day, and you worry and you stress and blah, 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 blah. And they're like, can we get off the treadmill and go for an actual walk? The view is beautiful over here. That's kind of just sort of what they're showing me, is like, it's time for you to kind of take that next bold step in whatever direction it is that you want to go in. And only you can really figure that out, because it feels like you haven't decided yet. And so I can't say, go do this, because you haven't decided yet. So get rooted in what it is that you really want to bring to life, and then take some action on it and get through the fear and the comfort zone. I will leave that with you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we have time for what? Maybe one more?
Yeah, one more. I was just going to say, I was listening to this morning, a part of getting out of my own way. I was listening to Brene Brown, and she was talking about getting out there and vulnerability, and I love her talks on all of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would highly go listen to her. She was talking about getting out in the arena, and you're going to get knocked down and you're going to get all these things, but that's where the growth is. And that's part of the deal. So, really get out there in the arena, start doing what you need to be doing, start really just pushing through. Sometimes we don't always know exactly what the right thing is, but we start trying this and trying that, and we really start finding our way on how to go. So anyway, I don't know where that all came in, but that did. So anyway, all right, Christina, hey, sweet lady. I was going to ask your guys what you need to hear today, because I feel like you almost need a pep talk, Christina. There needs to be this little bit of, and they're telling me you need to start doing your own pep talks, because you get in your own way and you start doing and you start putting yourself down and you start overthinking it and you start wondering what people are thinking. And then you go down this whole, as Michelle's words, negative Nancy type of thing that we just get in of so I feel like today you need a pep talk. You're doing enough. You're being enough. You're showing up enough. You're doing the very best that you know how to do right now. And really giving yourself, so many times we think we've got to be doing, the inner monologue. It's we could vomit over that whole thing for so long. But really, it's time to start being your own cheerleader. And I think that's the hardest thing when we do. I love talking about ego. I've mentioned it many times in here. We get in that ego brain and it's hard to get out of it. And we think it's our truth. This is just it. It is not our truth. Those are the lies we've told ourselves all the years. We've just allowed it to keep playing and playing and playing. And we think if our brain is thinking it, then it must be true. And that is the biggest bullshit lie that we believe in all of our stuff here. And so really get out of that. It's not that it's going to go away. You just thank her and go, well, that's not my truth anymore. I think so I'm going to go over here now. And we can do healing around her, and that's a whole other story. But, really not buying into the lies anymore, not buying into the bullshit, and realizing, no, that was the old me. The new me says this is no longer my truth. And this takes a little bit of mind training to do this. It takes some time to do this because our old way of doing things has been over here listening to all that garbage. So, step out of that. Start being your own best cheerleader. It's time for you to start really cheering yourself on and realizing you've made some good progress this year. You've done some really cool things. You've come a long ways, and allow yourself to bask in that for a little while. So I love you, and I'll let Michelle.
Yeah. So for me, again, with the neck, everybody, I don't know what's up with the neck, everybody, but for you, Christina, it's really on my left side, which Spirit's kind of just sort of, because it's in behind my eye. It's so it just sort of feels like you're kind of rationalizing a lot of things. You're sitting in this logical brain of yours, and you're going, and you're trying to sort of put meaning behind things that don't really have meaning. You're strategizing, you're doing all these things. And it's very in this masculine energy, and it's very logical and very just overcomplicating things a little bit. And so your guys are kind of reminding you, get into that divine feminine, get into the intuitive part of yourself and listen to that, because it just feels like intuition comes in and you immediately put it through this logical filter. And then you go, well, that's not right. And then you dismiss it. And so they're kind of okay, stop putting it through this filter. It doesn't need to go through this filter to get over into your left brain. It doesn't even belong in your left brain. Hang out over here in your right brain. And I know I'm switched on this video, but whatever. But it's really hard to do that when you're seeing yourself. But anyways, but you need to sort of really listen to the intuitive messages that you're hearing, because again, your ego is rewiring it and it's putting it through this giant filter, and it's taking you into this place that you don't need to go to. And just like Gina said, you have to be your own best cheerleader. But if you keep putting it through, insist on putting it through this fucking filter, stop. And I know that because like of the work that you do like on a daily, like it's really hard to sometimes live in that space of that right brain, of being like in that creative and intuitive space. So stop, just take it for what it is, allow it to come in and lean into the heart message, not the brain message. Because like I said, your ego is way too involved right now trying to rationalize and put all the meaning around it and putting it into a meaning in a box that you've already experienced when this is a completely new experience. It's a completely new message that your subconscious has no actual reference for. And you're trying to put it into a box that it doesn't belong in. And you're sifting and you're filtering it. And it, like I said, for whatever reason, you're putting everything through this like filter, and it's putting it in these like little self-contained containers that they don't actually belong in. So lean into that intuition and just write it down without the filter. What message am I getting, without trying to put some sort of box around it? It doesn't need to be a box. It's water. Allow it to flow. It's air. Allow it to float, right? It doesn't need to be in a box, because that's just your human brain trying to sort of categorize it and organize it when it has specific meaning for you. So I'm going to leave that with you. I love you. You already know this, but it's really time for you to kind of tune way more into that right brain, into that intuitive side, that feminine side, and allow yourself to just feel it and know it.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, that's perfect for her. So yeah. And the other thing too, this keep looking for meaning. This is actually a way of resistance right there. This is a way of really not tapping into what's really going on. Our brain takes over, our ego takes over, and we keep trying to find the meaning when the meaning is, hey, look, we're right here. That's the meaning. It's like sometimes there's bigger meanings, but most of the time it's like, you wanted to know if we were here. We're here. And we're over here going, so what does 222 mean? What does that mean? What does that mean for me? Oh my gosh, I must have some big meaning going on. And we're like freaking ourselves out when really all it is, look, we're right here. We're right here by your side. You're doing good. Go team. Like, so, I mean, there are times when it's bigger than that, but most of the time, we got you. That's what they're telling you. So,
yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed today. This has been lovely. Thank you for being here with us. We'll be live again on Thursday, like Michele said, over on her page. And can't wait to see you all over there. If you know someone that would need some coaching or would like to invite them, share today's video if you thought it was helpful with someone that you might that might want to be part of our group and in here with Michele and I. So Michele, I thank you for being here. I love our container.
Thank you for having me. And don't forget that healing fast track if you want in. If you liked this is what we do for a living. This is like what we can provide in this safe container. And so again, there's payment plans available. If you're struggling, you need some special treatment, please reach out to one of us. We can sort of work with you. So just don't be afraid. Like if this is a yes and you're just like, holy shit, like all of this resonated and I really need to take better care of myself and I need to learn how to do this myself, reach out to us. Like this is what we're here for. This is what we're meant to do in this life. And this is just one way of being able to work with us at a much higher level, way more intimate contact with us than just about anything else that we do aside from one-on-one. But again, we're here for you and we love you. And so thanks so much for watching and hopefully we'll catch maybe some of you on Thursday.
All right. Thank you everybody for being here.
Thank you for watching.
Bye-bye.